$1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto. 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Tom Bush Dealerships. The 2026-27 NBA season schedule drops this week for all NBA teams, including the Orlando Magic. Tune in to Good Morning America and the Today Show tomorrow morning as the NBA schedule release begins. The Magic finished the year with a 45-37 record and a first-round exit in the playoffs last season. Right now, 92 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Jaguars were back out on the practice field yesterday, and one Leonard Fournette was in attendance. Literally, he walks by with this like bright neon green Louis Vuitton bag, and I could only see the back of him at this point in time, and I was like, "Is that Leonard Fournette?" And as it turns out, it was Leonard Fournette. The Jags also were graced with the presence of some J Fund families, and I want to give a huge shout out and kudos to Trevor Lawrence, who, after meeting with reporters, went inside the cafeteria, realized that the J Fund families were there, came right back out, and then spent some time with them, signing autographs, taking pictures.
Oh, I love that.
He was like, oh, okay, I got to go lift. But someone was like, oh, one more. And he's like, oh, absolutely. One more picture. He is fantastic as a human being.
Yeah. He's always been a good guy. I mean, even in the, from the very beginning. I mean, the crap he had to deal with Urban, and that he'd get up in front of the podium and act like, he's way older than his age, right? He was young. Wasn't he like 20, 21?
Yeah.
Just
he was only, at Clemson for 3 seasons. So.
But he always handled himself great. That's just good upbringing, right? That's good stock, coming from
raised right.
a good family. But, he's always had that, so it's great to see. Listen, when you're in that situation, that's part of the deal. Like, that you're that influential, if you will, right? Just saying hello to a kid, that just wants to say hello to you. That means something to that child. And when you're the face of the franchise, you got to do those things. And it's a good thing. He does it naturally. He's not forced.
Absolutely.
He wants to do it. He wants to make that presence known. So, yeah, it's great. It's great to see the J Fund out there. I tell you, the practice is just standing on the sidelines. Like, some days you're like, man, this is really happening out here. Like, it's not like everyone's just, like there's 15 reporters looking at practice. Yeah. It's like there's 75 people or 60, like all milling around.
Crowds,
like pretty fun.
Yeah, I thought yesterday's practice was good in the sense that we got to see some, I would say the pass catchers have another really good day, whether it's Brian Thomas Jr., Parker Washington, of course. Yep. Tanner Koziel, when they did one-on-ones, they have side-by-side fields, right? And so working in the end zones there, and Tanner Koziel got up and made a play and had this amazing catch. Yesterday, Jacoby Myers looked really good. Austin Trammell had a good day. So not saying that the secondary had a bad day, but there were some, I would say, sizzling plays by the pass catchers.
Yeah, I mean, look, the defense kind of rebounded in the red zone, right? And Murray got the pick. Trevor missed the one to BT in the back of the end. It's a little high. He was covered, but it was a little high of a throw. Other than that, I thought Trevor really clicked yesterday for the first time in camp for most of practice. Like,
if the pass catchers have a good day, it's because the quarterback's having a good day.
He was putting it in the right spot. There's no doubt. On time. And for the record, the DB struggled in one-on-ones that I was watching. And it's hard because, there's no rush. Nobody's in their face. They have every lane they want to throw through because there isn't any lane. It's just wide open. So it's not a direct what would happen in a game, but it is challenging as all get out. And the wide receivers had their way, and Trevor was just putting it on them. And it was great to see, and he did it in team too. Red zone was a little, he like I said, those couple throws, but he just seemed like it was more in sync, more on rhythm, more in the right spot. And they were catching it, obviously. But I thought yesterday was like his best day out of camp. Because people always say, well, how does Trevor look? I'm like, he looks fine. I'm not like, from a year ago, you're like, I don't know. He's missing here and there. He's making here and there. But it was always like never worried about anything. But yesterday it felt like it was really clicking. Like in the OTAs, it was clicking. He was hitting it deep.
Yeah.
Every OTA, multiple times. But yesterday it felt like him and his receivers were on a good page.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it yesterday because I was in St. Augustine, went to a concert, so I was going through reports and different things, reading, just watching some of the videos that you could see from it. But multiple I saw were all talking about Trevor Lawrence and how they all agreed, saying that was probably the best day he's had through training camp. Obviously, we know OTAs, but one of the things I was seeing a lot of people talk about, there would have, like Josh Hines-Allen would have had a sack. I guess Gardeck would have had a couple sacks, and Branson Combs, we talked about him again, would have had a tackle for loss on DJ Dallas. I saw some of those things. So those are the ones where, two parts of this. Number one, Trevor performing behind a line that probably wasn't looking its best either, and being able to have that timing on and hit some of those wide receivers is a good thing. But the O-line we know is kind of beat up right now. And so that is trending towards a little bit more of a concern than probably it was at the start of camp for a lot of people.
Yeah. And look, I didn't see every rush. There are plays where they just flat out beat the lineman and would absolutely be a sack. There are other times where a few seconds go off, he doesn't deliver, and then eventually for the record, the linemen aren't like blocking at all costs.
Yeah.
Like they're not diving at your legs, to get you on the ground. You know what I mean? Like you do have to keep it in somewhat of perspective. Remember last year they couldn't block anybody.
Anything, yeah.
And it was, there were a bunch of TFLs and sacks and whatnot. So I'm not too concerned about that. And look, a lot of Trev, where I thought he looked the best, granted, no rush, but in that, that one-on-one drill in the end zone, he was on fire on that one. That was a good one. But,
you don't need the offensive line for that.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, and look, we know the offensive line's a work in progress. Look, Gardeck, you read he had 2 sacks. One was against Anton. I didn't see it, but I don't know, did he just whiz by him or whatnot? But regardless, they're getting close, so that's good. B.J. Green II continues to shine.
Yeah.
He's a natural pass type rusher. I'm looking for, now it's the next step. Right now you got New Orleans, you're going to have the practices, and then you got the game. And if you're not starting, depending on how much the starters play, this is your time to shine. Like this is big moments. You got a few games to show that you belong on this team, whether you're a backup or special teamer or what have you.
One practice tomorrow, a walkthrough Wednesday, a joint practice with the Saints, and then I'm assuming another walkthrough Friday.
Yep.
And
the game Saturday.
Preseason game, yeah.
It's big time. It's big time. I mean, it's a great, and that's just the next step into the process of what we're going through to get to the regular season. So I thought it was good to see Trev in rhythm, on point, and for the majority of the practice.
Yeah.
That's good.
4 p.m. on Saturday, by the way. You don't have to wait till the nighttime, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then, we'll have Thursday preseason games, too. So that's always something to look forward to. All right, so you mentioned the offensive line, Taylor. Walker Little not practicing. Patrick McCary still out. Chuma Adoga and Emmanuel Pregnon did not practice yesterday. So the starting offensive line, Wyatt Milam was playing right tackle. Jonah Monheim playing right guard. So they've already gone, I feel like, down through several combinations that they probably didn't expect to, considering it's just now August 10th.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it last year, how they did it in the sense of intentionally moving guys around, but it does seem, because some of these injuries have piled up a little bit on the O-line, they're having to try some things maybe they weren't totally wanting to lean into, as in having those starting guys in front of Trevor. But I do think also it's a good thing in a sense of never injuries good, but seeing some of these other guys, because we have talked about both Milam and Monheim, and do they, is there a potential for them to beat out what these guards look like? And we've seen Anton be on the left side quite a bit throughout camp so far. And so I do like that we get to see different things, and it does feel like some of these young guys were really getting the opportunity, and that gave some guys last year a true shot at being starters when it comes to the unfortunate part of injury, but in that you find out who somebody like a Devin Lloyd can be, or some of the guys that came in when Travis Hunter went down, when you start seeing Buster Brown really shine in those moments and stuff like that. So I do think that it's unfortunate on the injury side, but it also is good for the Jags in general to really see what you have, because once if you don't feel like you're comfortable enough, if all these injuries are lingering and you feel like week 1, do you go make a move to try and get somebody, whether it's an offensive lineman, and that's probably right now where it's trending if they were to bring somebody in, because the conversation a few weeks ago or even back in OTAs was like, is Walker Little gone? Like, do you trade Walker Little and try to do something? At this point, you can't even, you don't want to risk that because you are already getting banged up enough on the line. But I do like seeing some of these other guys, because to me, I feel like you don't really get to see that true level of depth and competition until you see them in front of Trevor going against some of those ones on the defense.
Yeah, and as far as someone, I mean, Decker's probably the only tackle, but now with Washington losing Tunsil, you would think they might take a run at him, you know?
Torn triceps sounds miserable.
Not good, yeah.
I heard Leon talking about it when it happened to him, because it happened twice in one arm and once in the other.
Oh, man, brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. That's a nasty injury. But, you know, that's part of the deal. But, yeah, as far as the O-line, look, I like the fact that Monheim can play guard. I want to see him in game action, but, you know, see him move and be physical. Milam, I think you can plug him in pretty much any tackle or guard position. I think he's athletic enough to play tackle. He's big enough to play guard and tackle, and he's got a good mean streak. You know what I mean? So I like that, and they got to feel good about that as well. Hey, Monheim can play guard in a pinch. How great is that to know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In case anything happens to anybody up there, and then he can also play center if we need him to.
Because we were wondering, would there be more of a competition at center between Robert Hainsey and Jonah Monheim?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they have the option.
You can't right now.
Yeah,
Right,
you
right.
just keep Robert Hainsey where he is.
They keep bringing in guys, right? They bring in offensive linemen and then linebackers as well. You know, the guy they brought in from New England, that's an interesting one.
The linebacker.
Yeah. Tavai.
He's number 32.
Yeah, he looks
We're gonna
good.
see him out
I mean, he
there.
looks like a linebacker.
He had what I read would have been sack from one of the reports I saw.
Yeah.
And then the Jaguars signed, and we've already seen him out on the practice field as well, Jaron Christian.
Yeah.
That's the offensive
The
lineman.
lineman.
Yeah, that we
Yeah.
already saw at left tackle, backup left tackle.
Yeah.
So that's how you know you're getting a little
little
desperate.
deep, yeah.
Is you just got a guy.
You know, and look, it's hard because you got to practice hard, you know, and guys are going to get dinged up.
It's a physical game.
It's just the way it is.
And we knew it was going to be more physical of a camp this year because of so much emphasis on the run game. Well, if you're going to run the ball a lot in practice, guys are going to
gonna
end up on
get
the
hit.
ground.
Yeah.
You're going to see less of that if you're focusing more on passing.
And they have been without pads, in pads. They're aggressive up front initially. It's been very aggressive, and the thudding has been good. It just hasn't been full speed, take him to the ground type of stuff.
Right. Do you think Ventrell Miller is slightly ahead of Branson Combs at this point in time?
Yeah, just by a little, but I think Branson's in the running for it. I'm looking to see what number 32 is going to do.
Okay.
Just because think about it, like you could have just gone and gotten a camp body if that's what you were trying to accomplish, right? Or you go get in a guy like him who's played some football and has had success, and let's see what maybe he can do. I don't know what that means. Will, Sam, I don't think it's Mike. Can he cover a nickel? I know he's more of a rusher.
Yeah.
It felt like that with the Pats last year, how they used them. But listen, I mean, look, they've got to keep their eyes and ears open for guy goes down, got to bring someone in, right?
Yeah.
You gotta.
And for people that don't know, 32 is Tavai that they brought in.
Tavai,
from
sorry,
the
yeah.
Patriots.
No, I said that earlier. You're good. Yeah. So a couple other notes. Eric Armstead had a vet rest day off yesterday, so that was
that's
pre-scheduled.
What, number 3 or 4?
Yeah.
I think the
It's got
third
a lot
one.
of days
Yeah.
Got it going.
Other injuries. Obviously, we saw Jack Kaiser at the practice on the mock game on
Working
Friday.
hard.
Yeah, he's trying, but he's got the brace still on his knee. And then Quentin Morris and Zach Durfee did not practice yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their injuries are.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're not telling us. I did read another team said, and I forget who went down, but it was I think a wide receiver, and they said they're day to day. I think it was Zay Flowers actually, for
Okay.
the Ravens, and
Yep.
they said day to day, and I was like, oh, that's nice to actually tell people
What
something's
you
day to
did.
day.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
But, not complaining over here.
Yeah. You think of a guy like Zach Durfee, like if he's healthy enough to play this week, and he's got to show what he can do. Because you're going to go against their second team. Like you have to stand out if you're going to. Now, if it's not just one game and done, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's all one game. But man, it would be him and Wes Williams. Both of them need to stand up and
Big time.
and make themselves known. That They're here.
And preseason is where you could do that.
That's right.
You talk about that.
Absolutely.
You talk about those 2 young wide receivers. This is your time.
This is your time to shine. No doubt.
Although if they're concerned about injuries, I wonder how many of those types of players we even see. Again, it's
You got to
just the
play
first of
somebody.
3. Yeah, just the first of 3 games as far as the preseason goes. Let's talk a little Travis Hunter when we return. Obviously, getting to see him play both sides of the ball has been exciting. We'll do that and more. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. For any of your automotive needs, go to BigChiefTire.com. It's 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is 1010XL,
The fans have rallied around us.
home of the Jaguars fan.
It's really, really cool. It's a cool experience that I'll always remember that.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Installed by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
There's 26 days until the 2026 regular season kicks off, and head coach John Summerall said he might not make an announcement on who the starting quarterback will be before week 1. As pads start popping this week and the team's first scrimmage of camp on Saturday, the action on the field sets the stage for the unveiling of new retro jerseys honoring the 60th anniversary of Steve Spurrier's 1966 Heisman Trophy winning campaign.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite, created with Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. This sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist, and it's available for just a limited time, so stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Kim Rimley want to thank all of our clients, CPAs, attorneys, bankers, and real estate agents who refer us business every day. If you're ready to purchase, build, or refinance your home, call Trustline Mortgage, your hometown mortgage source since 1989. Call us today at 904-381-LOAN, trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS, 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS, 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS, 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS, 246445.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Every championship season starts with summer sweat.
Training camp weeds out the boys from the men.
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL.
This is your playbook.
Presented by Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Got a leaky faucet, a running toilet, a drain that's slowing down? If you've been meaning to call a plumber, now's the perfect time to call Duck Duck Rooter. Schedule any plumbing service during August, and while our technician is already at your home, we'll include a free water heater inspection. It's just one more way we deliver the Duck Duck standard. Honest recommendations, fair upfront pricing, and no surprises. If you're calling a plumber anyway, why not get a little bit more while we're there? When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Attention contractors. Stop wasting time dealing with permits yourself. Use PermitRockstar.com. Their permitting platform helps contractors cut permitting delays by up to 80%. Stop waiting and start building with PermitRockstar.com.
Hey, Hicken here. You know I've been using Zero Res for years now. Heck, I used a couple other guys way back when, even tried to do the do-it-yourself cleaning. I learned real quick, that ain't for us. With Zero Res, you get the zero residue carpet cleaner. Leaves your carpets truly clean with no dirt-attracting soaps or harsh chemicals. Right now, call for the back-to-school promotion. Book 2 rooms of carpet cleaning for $149, get 2 rooms free. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL back-to-school special.
Zero Res.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. RJ had the morning show because ET is out and about.
Oh, yeah.
This week, both in the morning and the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we're going to blitz the bank.
You may be able to win some tickets.
That's right.
Tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yeah, and I think later this afternoon, too.
Yeah. We'll be around town. Listen for ET. He will be calling in to let you know some secret locations the next few days of where he'll be, of your chance to win some tickets for that first preseason game.
It was so funny this morning. He calls into the drill, and all he says is, I'm going to go see Spider-Man after this ticket drop-off, right? He's joking, trying to give a clue as to he's in front of a movie theater.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, which movie theater? He's like, well, I'm kind of close to the town center. I'm like, oh, you're at Tinseltown.
Yeah, right.
I was like, we're probably supposed to make people try and figure this out.
Yeah, I guess that's a little more.
But
That's
yeah,
okay.
they weren't having that. So
No.
they made sure to find his location. But yeah, that's a whole lot of fun. All right, so Travis Hunter, yesterday, as always, thanks to our friend D-Rock of ESPN. Travis Hunter in 11 on 11 for the snaps, 12 on defense, 8 on offense, and then total through training camp, 88 defense, 55 offense in 11 on 11. We saw a great catch yesterday. We also saw maybe an interception if Gardeck doesn't get the sack. He did get an interception, but what could have been a sack. But I feel like we have a budding superstar, and I know that's not breaking news, but every single time, I no longer watch him and think, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I watch him and think, what spectacular thing is he going to do next?
Yeah. Well, he did on that pick. I mean, he came from the other side of the field and then jumped to the moon. I thought they were going to collide. I'm so glad they didn't.
Yeah.
They got a little dust up because Jarian got a little banged up, but he was fine.
He went to the
fell on
ground
his back or
in the
something.
end zone, and got up gingerly and then walked off with holding his back, but then he came back in later, so I think it was just a...
Yeah, Travis had to be like 4 feet in the air. I mean, it's unbelievable. That guy's athletic.
There's like multiple times we've
So
seen
much
that
fun.
now. Yeah.
And I look, whether they're doing it intentionally or not, I just love that they're just sticking it to everybody. Like, what are you gonna play? He's playing both ways. I mean, that's what he's doing. I mean, they got him in the same drill, flipping jerseys, making plays on defense, and go over there and make a play on offense.
The fancy people
I
are
love it.
not happy about it. I
Yeah.
can tell
Right.
you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what he is going to
That's
be.
right.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, and I mean,
Too
and
bad.
Liam
Exactly.
last week came out and said specific, like he's not going to know the whole offensive playbook. So that does give you a little bit of some hints of how he's going to be used. Now, the fantasy world probably wants to avoid that unless you have some fantasy team where you get defensive points from Travis, and then offensive point from Travis, or if they do use them in the return game somehow, some fantasy leagues you get points from the return. So if you have some sort of league out there where you get points from all of the things, then it's probably worth it. If not, it could be very different week to week, and I don't know in the fantasy world if that's what you want. In the Jacksonville Jaguars winning football games, that's what you want.
Yeah.
I just want a touchdown and an interception every game. That's all I'm asking for.
We might want to rethink our stats for him. Didn't we do that earlier in the year?
did.
What we thought we might want to go and see how many pick sixes he may have. Maybe only a couple, but hopefully they're at really important times. But he just adds everything. I mean, on defense, for me, he still adds more on defense. Although he's so dynamic on offense with the ball in his hands. But to me, if he lines up big corner, your defense just got so much better. And no disrespect to the corners they have, he's just a little different, man, and he can help your defensive line get there. With an extra half step. That's all they need. Just another half step that they don't have to worry about the ball being released, or they get that quarterback patting the football because you're just locked on them and they can't do anything. So to me, and then you got to get them on offense in those ways that Liam was saying on that podcast, right? Red zone, 2 minute, when we really need them to make a first down or get some big score, big chunk, we're going to go with them, that type of thing.
And he's going to know the parts of the offense that he needs to know, right? Like he's a very smart guy. He studies a ton. He's in that virtual room. So I'm certainly not worried about that part of things. But I really want to know who gets the first target and maybe the first touchdown too, right? Like there's just so many options like we've talked about with all the different weapons. You think it's Parker?
And based on
feels like
yesterday,
Parker,
I mean,
yeah.
geez,
He had
it
it
was
Last few days have felt Parker world.
It has.
So
yeah.
yesterday, Parker tweets out the eyes emoji and
Right.
sets the Twitter world or X world, whatever, on fire because they're thinking a contract extension may be upcoming. And then Ryan O'Halloran, he quote tweeted that tweet and was basically like, per source, a contract is not imminent.
Yeah.
So you guys can relax a little
I
bit.
always joke about that where if I was like famous, I would just you could just literally post any emoji and people are like, "Oh, what's happening?" It could have been watching a movie he liked and post eyeballs and people think he's about to like get traded or get signed.
But it is, I think, coming to a head as far as the fan base is concerned.
Yeah.
Like talking to a bunch of Jags fans, they don't understand why he's not already signed. And we've talked about it a ton on this show for obvious reasons. If he wants $30 million a year and the Jaguars are offering $20 million a year, and I'm throwing out numbers just haphazardly, those are not necessarily anything that's going on, but that would mean they're too far apart because otherwise, if they were closer, I think most of us think a deal would be done.
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, that's what it normally comes down to. Or they're just saying, hey, let's just wait a little bit and we'll do it a little bit later for whatever reason. But I think it comes down to where the value's at. And look, you can't blame Parker Washington for trying to get the most value.
Yeah, no way.
And if I'm him, I'm going, okay, I'm not Zay. I could be maybe if I, gave me more opportunity, but I'm not. But I'm not that far off. I'm not $12 million a year off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a big chunk between me and Zay Flowers. Like, where am I in that? Start with that and then move, towards zero, wherever that number ends up being. But if you're the Jags, you're sitting there going, well, we love you. Of course. You've gotten better every year. You're perfect for our system. We love you as a Jaguar, but we can't pay you that. We can't pay you $28 million a year. We can't. We gave Jacoby 20, and then Brian Thomas is gonna what? We're gonna pay him 50. If he has a good, you know what I mean? Like we just, it might not. And I don't mean to throw in like it, get worried, but look, it might not happen.
Yeah.
Because you do have to come to that line, that number. Like, okay, and then it comes down to and the agent's got to do this too. Like, what can you live with? Like, what? You're a young man. You get to decide. Can you live with 25? They're offering you 25. You want to take it? 3-year deal, guaranteed, whatever. You know what I mean? And he could say, no, I want 28. Because what if I'm hurting 3 years and I'll never play again?
What if he's hurt
I don't know.
week 1?
Yeah.
I think that's where,
Correct.
if I'm Parker Washington's camp, obviously that's the part that concerns you. And of course, the player's going to think that they are deserving of some of the highest dollar amounts. Now, I'm not saying $43 million like Jackson Smith and Jigba got, but I guarantee Parker Washington feels that his best is yet to come. Clearly, he's finally going to be used as one of Trevor's primary weapons, and he can go do, phenomenal things this season.
Yeah. And that's what we were going through some of the numbers last week. And there's a range of guys around 16, 17. And then there's that gap in between to the 20. So nobody is getting that 18, 19 right now. But that is what everybody, like Pete Prisco kind of mentioned that. Has mentioned that number. But if you're saying that number, I went through it last week. That's 30 wide receivers that are going to be paid more than Parker this season. And that has to be in Parker's argument too. Like, do you really think there's 30 wide receivers out there that deserve to get paid more than I do? And
I'm Trevor's favorite target.
And also Parker in his comment said, my agent's worrying about all of that. I'm not in that world right now. So the agent is more so having these conversations in this point in time. And then obviously going back and being like, hey, what about this? No, I feel like I'm worth more than that, or whatever the conversation may be. But I do think that he's Parker Washington, talking to pretty much any fan that I have, just over this last weekend, especially when some of these conversations had started heating up a little bit about Parker Washington, and then the camp he had on Friday, and then Sunday having another good camp. All of the people throughout every article you bring out of potential breakout players, which may be one of my tangents today, has Parker Washington on the list of those breakout players. So all of those things are getting you in this very interesting spot of, you have not had a Zay Flowers year yet, but you also haven't been thrown the ball 130 times in a season like Zay Flowers have. You've kind of been that second half, we need you surge, and you're not going to this year. So, and Parker, do you want to be on that, or do you want to go to a team where you can get the ball 120 times and make $27 million? That's where that conversation comes in.
Yeah, but then he's got to gamble on himself for this year.
Yep.
And they'll get, like they all get insurance policies, if something happens, that kind of thing. But obviously it's nowhere near what, the contract would be. But
It's all risk versus reward.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things
Just
in
depends
life.
where it's at. I know, I don't know. I hate playing. Well, I do this, I do that, because I'm not him. I'm not in that situation. He's got to figure it out. But I hope they sign him. I hope he gets as much money as possible. But I'm not going to be surprised if they don't find common ground. I'm not. I think that's going to be challenging.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen before the season starts, like what we had originally hoped, that maybe it would get done around this time, the training camp time. But maybe if they're 3 games in and he has 3 excellent games and he's Trevor's favorite target, then they're going to maybe need to raise their prices.
Look, what he's done in camp has definitely gotten them going, look, we like this kid. Can we figure it out? Like, come on, let's get it going. Like, let's see what we can do to make him happy.
The only reason he was drafted, in my opinion, as late as the 6th round as he was, is he doesn't have that top end speed and or size. Yeah. So if he was Brian Thomas Jr.'s size and had that speed with all the acrobatic things that he can do, I mean, and he's so smart.
Yeah, but then he could just be like, oh, really? Well, here's this punt return for 84 yards and nobody caught me.
Look how fast I was
I'm
here.
fast enough to do that. So, just in his defense. Like, but you're right. That's why he didn't get drafted.
That's why BT goes in the 1st round. That's why Parker's in the 6th round. But some teams literally might view them as Parker Washington is going to produce more yards for this team than BT is this year. BT will get some chunk yards. Yeah. But every time Trevor
you can count on Parker more receptions. Some teams may be looking at it like that. And I'm looking at the contracts too. So number one, you talk about a Trevor Lawrence contract is fine. You're going to get to that part when you talk about we waited, they signed it before it actually hit, and you actually started having to pay Trevor. Now you're going to have to start paying Trevor. But Jacoby's contract is interesting too, because this year it's only 3.7 million for last year. Sorry, this year's actually only 1.3 million on the books. Next year is 17.3 million that they put on the books for Jacoby, and then they have a potential out in 2028. And then if he stays through 2028, it goes up to 19.4 on the book. So that one is what's kind of interesting with his contract, because you could also have that conversation where you have that potential out after 2027. So if you wanted to pay Parker, you have 1 year where you'd have to try and figure out both of those, but only that one season. And after that, you could technically part ways with Jacoby if you feel like Parker can be that replacement.
From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Anytime we talk about this subject, the text line goes insane.
Yeah, I don't blame
how much does Parker make this year? A new deal would bump up this year's salary to offset the lower offer. He makes a little over $1 million this year. So you're talking about a massive increase, obviously, from there. What about Parker Washington's tweet from last night? That's the one we just discussed, the eyes emoji.
Depending how they do the contract.
I don't know what he meant by that. It was just cryptic.
I know Darnell Wright just got his. It only added $3 million to this year, and then they did something with the contract. So it doesn't all of a sudden mean that this year you'd have to pay him $20 million.
Right, exactly. I would pay Parker Washington and figure out maybe down the line what to do with Brian Thomas Jr. Maybe you could seek a trade for him next offseason. I guess that person is thinking that Parker's going to have a much better season than Brian Thomas Jr. But from everything we've seen at practice, what I will tell you is Trevor's favorite targets are Parker, Brian Thomas Jr., then probably Jacoby is how I would list it. We probably thought it would be more like Brenton Strange in that mix too, at least from what they've shown us at practice. He has not been nearly as high on the targets list as those guys have been. And then Travis Hunter, of course, mix him in.
The tight ends in general.
They haven't gone to the tight ends a lot. It's later in the week, you're like, oh, Borkature got a pass. You know what I mean? Like, he's gone off, or he might have gone off, but they didn't throw it to him. But then he caught it and ran down the field like, oh, okay.
He's still here.
Finally got one. All right, cool. But it doesn't feel like the tight ends have been like a focal point.
Right, but they paid Britton, so I was expecting a little bit more. But again, we're still fairly early into training camp. There are 10 practices in, and Saturdays, like I said, was a walkthrough. All right, Tom, more to do on the other side, including Tom's Take. Keep it right here on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Pick it here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools has been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
23 years and still getting bigger. The Jacksonville Tattoo Convention is back August 21st through 23rd with hundreds of incredible tattoo artists tattooing all weekend long. Explore unique vendors and artisans. Check out Collector's Alley featuring Pokemon, trading cards, sports memorabilia, comics, toys, and more. It's family friendly, parking is free, and tickets are available at the door. Renaissance Resort at World Golf Village, one of Jacksonville's most unique weekends. Visit setattoo.com for more information.
If replacing those old windows has been on your someday list, well, this is the perfect time to make it happen with the end of summer sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer ends August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
I used to feel anxious every time I needed a dentist. Long waits, surprise bills, it was exhausting, especially as a busy mom. After searching for a dentist I can trust, I found Harbor Dental Care. They got me in right away, treated me with kindness, and helped me set up a payment plan that fit my family's budget. If you want a dental home you can trust, book your visit at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
It's back to school season. Get a brand new fence from Superior Fence and Rail. For a limited time, get free takedown and haul away of your old fence. A $500 value with your new fence purchase. Offer valid on residential projects of 100 plus linear feet. Call today or visit SuperiorFenceandRail.com. SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening, one-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, expert care, improving lives.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
I'll get over you. I know I will. I'll pretend my ship's not sinking.
I don't normally like covers, but I like this tune.
It's really good.
Who are we listening to?
I'm the king.
His name is Sam James.
Oh.
I like it.
He has a lot of
Sam James? Oh, cool.
To fall at your feet.
Good stuff.
He does a lot of really good covers,
that's
actually.
Come on.
I think I've added several to our list of him, if you want to listen.
Sounds like a plan.
Very nice. Oh, that came from you.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Thought this was Jared's special.
I did too. For
He
a second.
played a version. He played that song, "The King of Wishful Thinking," but it was the Newfound Glory version. That's the Sam James version, and then the original version is like an 80. I don't know.
Yeah,
Somebody
it's
from the
80s.
80s did it.
I just saw it was like Go West or
Okay.
something like that, which I've never heard of them, but I believe them.
Yeah, they're.
All right. Let's go from talking Jaguars to talking Adam Vinatieri for Tom's take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my take today on this beautiful Monday afternoon. First of all, not just about Adam Vinatieri, the whole class. What a great class. Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Luke Kuechly, Roger Craig, and Adam Vinatieri. That is absolutely good company. Next year's going to be interesting, too, with Adrian Peterson and Gronk and others being up for that first-time ballot.
Roethlisberger, I'm going to insert myself here and say I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Gronk and Adrian Peterson are. I don't think Roethlisberger
They
is.
are, yeah. Well, he's a two-time winning Super Bowl quarterback, yeah. MVP ever?
I don't know
I
if he
can't
was the
remember.
MVP.
I always liked Big Ben. If he didn't get in trouble off the field, I think more people would probably like him. It's amazing he survived that face plant into the car. Yeah. That was nuts. Remember that? On the moped, he went face first into broke up his face and
That's
everything.
when they added that to the contract, CBAs or whatever. They were like, don't get on the moped.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot has been added over the years because of stuff. Yeah, never a Super Bowl MVP, but yes, two-time Super Bowl champion.
I'll tell you what,
he was the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
That throw to Santonio Holmes to win the Super Bowl and catch. Remember that? That was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was absolutely insane.
And yes, off the field stuff is why some people don't.
Yeah,
for sure.
I get it. But listen, I didn't listen or watch the entire Hall of Fame. I didn't really watch any of it, to be honest with you. But I did catch what Adam Vinatieri said. And I just want to say this, that Adam Vinatieri is now my favorite kicker of all time.
It was great.
Do you got that clip there, Jared? Let's hear what Adam Vinatieri has to say about his friend Pat McAfee being in the crowd.
Pat McAfee's here in the crowd today. Great to see you, brother. The only person who enjoyed holding my balls more than my wife.
Classic.
So
I
good.
love you,
It
Adam.
was good.
That was great. And for the record, his wife would hold the football while he would kick in the offseason.
I'm sure she did.
I'm sure she did. But what a great line right there. So that's my take today. It made me laugh. Brought to you by our good friends at Morgan & Morgan.
Perfect person too, because McAfee, that's who his whole personality.
right.
He was laughing, that's something he would have said on his own show at this point in time. So the perfect combination of somebody who can deals that type of stuff, but can also take it and joke and laugh about it. But yeah,
he's
that
probably
was a
mad
really
he
good
didn't
moment.
come up with the line.
I know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will tell you why you didn't watch it, Tom, because the enshrinement lasts forever.
Yeah.
Having been there, obviously, when Tony Boselli was enshrined a few years ago, it takes and I get it. You want to give each person their due time. I fully understand that. But 45 minutes for a speech is a really long time when there's several to get through in one day.
You're like, this is only one. He made the other comment about Bill Belichick, too, because he was like, unfortunately, Bill Belichick can't be here because he's judging his girlfriend's cheerleading competition. How far we've come with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I know. I feel like he probably should have retired and not gone to coach North Carolina, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, good stuff. And
Yeah, good class.
It was.
the only
Very
sad
good
part,
class.
obviously, was Roger Craig announcing that he's battling dementia at this point in time.
Saw that. That's terrible.
That makes me sad.
He was so great. I mean, the way that guy ran, every kid that was a running back that watched Roger, they wanted to pick their knees up like Roger Craig. Because he always ran with high knees, man. A lot of
Needs the
explosive.
chest.
And he was, wasn't he one of the first 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing? Wasn't that his big claim, 1,000 yards on each? Wasn't he one of the first, or not maybe one of the first, but he was in that era maybe, but he was
the first.
He was
in
the first.
1985
Yeah,
to have
he was
both 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving.
first
in a
ever,
single
no kidding,
season.
of all time.
He finished with 1,050 rushing yards and 1,016 receiving yards.
Wow, how about that?
He also had 7 rushing touchdowns and 6 receiving touchdowns.
Wow, these
That's
little
crazy.
ETN numbers right there from last year.
Yes.
How about ETN this week? What do you think? Is someone going to take a shot at him? I would. Come up in the middle and give him a little hunk.
Boye
Just for the heck
Lukin
of
last
it.
week said something along the lines of I'm looking forward to practicing against
give
him.
him a little shot.
My guess is they'll only see each other in the joint practice.
Practices,
and that ETN won't play in the actual game, or Achan won't play in the actual game, and obviously most of the Jag starters won't either, if any Jag starters play. But yeah, I feel like it would be fun to be in New Orleans for this joint practice.
It would.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to see the next step, the next process in this Jaguar team. So far, so good. I think they've had a really good camp. It's been a physical camp, efficient, not really bad days, as far as ball on the ground or, missing a ton or, just not having a really good day. But overall, just a really solid physical camp. And now you get to go against New Orleans, who, may not be the best of the best in the NFC, but, with Shook and with ETN, who knows? They did lose that tackle. Did you see that? Reduns,
Oh, yeah.
Raduns,
Yeah.
Torn
to an
ACL.
ACL. Gosh,
There's been some bad ones so far through camp
It's
around.
terrible.
Yeah.
And that's what I would like the Jaguars to get out of New Orleans and back here healthy.
For sure.
one of the
You
most
got to have
important
that.
parts.
It is very, very important.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right, I want to go around the AFC South a little bit, see what's going on in those three teams' training camps. And also, we've got a family 4-pack of tickets to give away to the Sporting Men's Jacks game when we return. So keep it right here, Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. Find them online at BigChiefTire.com. They're the best in the automotive business. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There are 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and Jags football.
To the 5, into the end zone, touchdown!
Jaguar football lives here. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, Underwoods has sold fine quality diamonds for a long time. Why is that important?
Frank, if you drew a line with the poorest diamonds with the lowest prices to the left and the highest quality to the right, our diamonds are at the far right end. Now, once we know the weight, the grading factors of cut, color, and clarity have to be considered. And the one that's talked about the least, but it's the most important to us, is the diamond's cut grade, because it has a huge implication on both the price and the beauty, and thus the value. I've bought diamonds for Underwoods for over 30 years, so I know what's out there, and the cut grade's just not important to most diamond sellers. That's really been the Underwood difference, because beautifully cut diamonds result in the most important thing they can do. They bring a joy of owning and wearing a diamond, not just today, but tomorrow and into the future. That's why it's important to us.
And it should be to you too, because nothing brings more joy than a diamond from Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra since 1928.
Hey, Tom McManus here for John's Pest Solution. This time of year means football season, but it also means pests are wreaking havoc both in your yard and in your house. Trust the people I trust. It's John's Pest Solutions. They'll solve all your pesky pest issues. From scary spiders and annoying ants to maddening mosquitoes, John's Pest Solutions will treat your lawn and your house so you can stop scratching and killing bugs and focus on the game. Visit johnspestsolutions.com today. That's johnspetsolutions.com.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
25 weeks comes down to this. You ready? 3 wide under the lights. 0 margin for error. Everything on the line. Flirting with 200 miles per hour in the place where this journey began. Race 26, the final hunt for a spot in the chase. The Coke Zero Sugar 400 weekend at Daytona, August 28th through 29th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Hey, poker players, are you looking for big jackpot excitement?
You know it, and I heard Best Bet is the place to go for Vegas-style table games and big jackpot winnings. With friendly dealers, exciting action, and games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker, there's no better place to play.
That's right. With 3 locations, there's a Best Bet location close by for you to win big. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The investment landscape always changing. New rules, new regulations, new opportunities. But at ITP Partners, one thing stays constant: our commitment to your financial future. ITP Partners Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryant, Janice Cobb, Dan Abel, Reagan Wright, and Reed Wingate. Your personalized investment strategy built on trust, transparency, and experience. They're ITP Partners. They're my financial partners for life. Registered representatives offering securities offered through Cetera Wealth Services, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC, and advisor services offered through Blue Horizon Equity Inc.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
All right, if you want to go see the Sporting Jacks men's game that comes up this Saturday night versus Indy 11 at 7 p.m. at Hodges Stadium on the campus of UNF, be car number 2 right now, 641-1010. Car number 2, 904-641-1010. And you are going with the fam to go see that soccer game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
Love it.
And
nice family outing.
I heard a promo on our station earlier today that they're giving a car away at that game on
really?
Saturday.
Okay.
Yes. And so
They serve beers at those games?
I would imagine
At
so.
UNF, though?
I would imagine
Yeah.
so. Because
I know basketball they do, so.
Yes. Okay.
in baseball. Yeah.
Oh, baseball, too. That'd be fun.
Well, yeah, I
Rock
did see a
watching
baseball game,
college
too. I
baseball
forgot.
game.
Yeah. It is fun. When I worked there, they had sold beer only. And my mom was like, hey, do you think they could start selling wine? So I asked and got it
There
done.
you go.
Yeah, they have seltzers and wine now, too.
Yeah, they've expanded since then. But yeah, it's kind of smart if you're, UNFJU, make a little extra money
Absolutely.
for sure.
Why not?
Why not is right. All right, let's get into some AFC South training camp notes. Houston Texans, we'll start with them. D'Amico Ryans called Keelan Rutledge a swarm player. Tom's going to absolutely hate this. Swarm means special work ethic and relentless mindset. Like I said, I knew you would hate it. It's an acronym that embodies what D'Amico Ryans has built, and so it's something very important for him to say about a rookie battling for a starting gig. Obviously, Keelan Rutledge is the former offensive lineman out of Georgia.
Yeah.
He can play center or guard, so we'll see. Tank Dell did participate in his first padded practice, which we talked about. He was in a limited capacity, but still, that's good news. And
See him run?
Yeah.
See him run that route and catch the ball. He looks like he can move.
Yeah, I'm so glad for him.
Yeah.
But I hope he doesn't have a big game against, obviously, this team when they meet twice this season. Jadeveon Clowney covers any questions about the Houston Texans pass rush rotation behind the two-headed monster of Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter. Obviously, that's been a question here.
Yep.
Who's the third pass rusher behind Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker?
Yep.
I think we've settled on the answer of B.J. Green since we have seen Josh have some snaps off, which I don't think I've ever seen that for Josh Hines-Allen in a training camp before. But they've done that with Foye Oluokun as well. Also. And so, obviously, those guys are a little bit older. They probably don't need quite as much practice.
I think B.J. Green is just the second is, he stood out.
Yeah.
He looks the part. It's not to say the other guys aren't right there, too. I'd like to see more out of Strigow. I think, Danny's just a, solid defensive end. Will give you the run, get to the passer on occasion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They like him a lot. Durfee's a guy I think is flashed, so we got to see if he can put it all together. Same Williams, I like to see more. Can't say I've seen him flash. He's a good athlete. He's a big kid. He can really run.
You've definitely seen 58. That's
58
Durfee.
for sure,
and
yeah.
Williams is 90, and there's not a ton of times that I think, oh wow, look at that one.
Durfee and BJ Green the second. They both have that natural lean when they rush. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like Brack used to have, T. Brack. And you just be like, it's just like this natural kind of upper body torso leaning forward. And all the great pass rushers seem to have that kind of thing. You know what I mean? They seem like they've got that. But again, they've so far so good. That's the thing about camp. Like you have 6 weeks or 5 weeks. There'll be some guys that do great in the first 2,
right?
And then
it
they
falls
disappear
off,
or fall off, and then you have guys that maybe haven't shown anything yet, and then they come on in the end, and now you're like, well, which one do we, which one do we like?
Or when those joint practices start happening, sometimes you'll see some just turn up that extra level.
Yeah.
What have you seen, and how have you seen the Jags using Gardeck out there?
Gardeck's our Sam on base, so I think that's a good thing. He'll line up on that tight end, and most of the time be on the ball. Sams are great because they can rush the passer, they can hold the force, and they can cover the tight end. I think he's more of a zone dropper than a man-to-man. I don't think if you put a real athletic tight end on him, you want that.
Yeah.
That's that wouldn't be the best matchup, but I think as far as that's concerned, it's his job there. And then I think you'll see him on nickel and dime come in and rush the passer. Okay. Get him on the outside and let's see what he can do. Kind of a change of pace, whoever's out there. So yeah, I think we've liked Gardeck since he's gotten here. He's the right attitude. He's the right kind of guy.
He just couldn't participate last training camp, so we didn't really know. We knew that he was really good in special teams with the Cardinals.
And you saw him used more later in the season than you did, right? Which makes sense because you bring him in here and he kind of had to fit in, and then injuries happened, so you were able to see him a little bit more out there.
Throw Gardeck in there with B.J. Green and Durfee, and that's a nice trio that can maybe solve some issues that you have on third down. You can move Trayvon inside. When you mentioned Clowney, I thought immediately, I'm like, well, wait till they're all three on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're moving all these guys around. And,
I would imagine Clowney's inside and you leave the other two guys
I don't
outside.
want to imagine that.
or change up that guard with some speed. As long as they don't pound it on you, maybe catch them off in a passing down and beat them with speed kind of thing. But
speaking of, I remember, so you said the swarm thing. I remember the Texans getting made fun of that last year, and I couldn't remember why, but now I just remembered because I Googled it. But they
does wonders.
So in their locker room, in their facility, and by all the weights and stuff they have on the wall, and it says swarm on the wall, and then where the A is, it has the Texans logo, where the A would be. But the swarm is special work ethic, relentless mindset, but it's a A. Swarm is spelled with an A, not an E. So people were like, doesn't even.
They did lowercase for ethics, so that way ethic's not in there, and they did uppercase for the A and, so that gets you your A.
Yeah, on their wall, it does not have that. On the wall, it literally just says special work ethic, relentless mindset, which there's no A, and then there's the E instead of an A. So I remember last year everyone making fun of they can't even. They were like swarm.
What the heck is that?
Yeah,
I
they
like
must have adjusted a little
Coughlin
bit.
had the best on the wall. It was lead, follow, or get out of the way.
I like
and
that.
I was like, that's self-explanatory.
It sure is.
yeah.
We have fast here in Jacksonville, which we've talked about. All right, getting to the Colts, Daniel Jones has reportedly looked excellent, just 8 months removed from the Achilles surgery, taking all the first-team reps early in camp. That's the best news, obviously, that they could hope for. The cornerbacks, Sauce Gardner and Charvarius Ward, have garnered praise, but is that due to facing a questionable wide receiving crew? That's a question that they have, and obviously Alec Pierce hasn't been practicing, so that's part of the problem. Tyler Warren could be in for a massive target share, given all those questions at wide receiver, and then to the backup quarterback we go, at least the battle. Riley Leonard has the inside track for the number 2 QB gig over AR, Anthony Richardson, who continues to ride, poor thing, the boom or bust roller coaster.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't know that Anthony Richardson will be on the Colts come regular season. I don't know necessarily where he'll be.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the eye injury was even worse than what, people kept jokingly making fun, about the band hitting him in the eye, but it sounds like it was really bad. And as someone who's had a detached retina before, I certainly feel for him.
That had to hurt like crazy. And it was an accident. Like he was, and he wasn't the only one. Someone else that happened to not too long ago. I don't know if it hit him in the eye, but it hit him somewhere and messed up something where they got injured.
I remember that.
They might want to do away with that. But look, let me ask you girls this. So Chris Ballard's the GM. He should very much be that's a huge negative.
Yeah.
But if Daniel Jones works out, does that offset the bad decision on
it
Anthony
balances
Richardson?
them.
Does it?
I
What
mean,
would you think?
especially if Daniel Jones, if we're talking about the Daniel Jones you were seeing those first 8 weeks last year, then I think it almost does wash it out. Just because I think that, number one, people forget very quickly if you get the quarterback right. It doesn't, if you miss 17 of them, but you hit on one, people are like, okay, you finally found the quarterback. And there's going to be people being like, how much was certain coaches and certain this and whatever the case may be. So you can always shift blame a little bit. And especially because Daniel Jones also has had a bit of a roller coaster career too. So it's not like he's been the bet. He kind of had the 1 year early on in his career where it's like, oh, okay, this guy's going to be pretty good. And then you've seen these fallouts, a lot of injuries, things like that. So if he stays healthy and you are talking about that Daniel Jones in the first 8 weeks, I think a lot of people quickly forget about the AR stuff because I think everybody knew AR was going to be a chance in that draft and a project quarterback, and you haven't been able to fix him because he can't stay on the field and he can't practice. So if there's only so much that a coach can even do if a player's getting hurt every other game or every other
49ers
practice.
survived, right?
The Trey Lance, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I was going to say. So, when you miss on a first-round QB, as long as you've got someone else to replace him that's better, you're okay.
You just hope that you draft the QB versus having to pay someone, right?
But for the whole financial...
Correct, for the health of the
health,
financial health. But at the end of the day, That's what just happened in Seattle, and they won a Super Bowl. They ended up not drafting a QB correctly, and they were able to win it all. All right, we'll get to the Titans on the other side as well as Taylor's Tangent. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL, where we share great moments.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
1010XL.
And that's what you have here.
Truck accidents can happen and can be devastating. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards and Raggets is proud to serve the 904. If you've been seriously injured in a truck accident, protect yourself and your family by understanding your rights and legal options. Our attorneys are experienced in handling complex truck cases and can guide you through this. No fees unless you recover damages. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards and Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
Hey, Tommy Mack here for Duval Glass and Mirror. You don't have to remodel your entire home to make a big impression now. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful frameless shower, a custom-cut mirror, or just replacing that fog, cracked, or outdated glass that's been bothering you for years. Jacksonville homeowners trust Duval Glass and Mirror for expert craftsmanship, honest service, and flawless results. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. There's only one name around here for glass and mirror, and it's Duval.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Jeff Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Is your lawn struggling this summer? Brown spots, insects, weeds, lawn disease. They can quickly take over when your lawn isn't getting the right care. Julington Creek Pest Control provides a complete lawn care program featuring premium granular fertilizer, not cheap liquid shortcuts, plus general pest and termite protection. Give your lawn the care it deserves. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Hacker, the 2026 Hacker Fantasy League is right around the corner, and we're heading back to one of my favorites, Twin Peaks, Thursday night, August the 20th. Be listening soon for your opportunity to get in to the HFL.
Make your outdoor living space one you're proud of with Sutherland Lawn and Landscape. From landscape design and outdoor living spaces to turf, lighting, irrigation, pavers, and complete residential and commercial maintenance, Sutherland brings your vision to life with quality craftsmanship and a team you can trust. Sutherland Lawn and Landscape, transforming outdoor spaces, elevating everyday living. Visit SUTHERLIN lawn.com today.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect pair for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Mike Dempsey. If you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
If you've been dealing with backups, strange smells, or soggy spots in the yard, your septic system is trying to tell you something. This month, save $500 on a new septic system installation from Duck Rooter. As the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, we'll handle everything, from the required permits and inspections to the complete installation. Stop hoping. Start fresh. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckrooter.com. Financing is available.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Olivia Brooks with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Baker Glass. The Jags' first preseason game is Saturday in New Orleans. Trevor Lawrence and offensive coordinator Grant Udinski spoke yesterday about training camp and what the team needs to do before game day. The Jags are trying different offensive lines as they deal with injuries and look for the best group up front. Udinski is focused on building consistency, and Lawrence says the offense is getting better every day. Stay with 1010XL for Jags updates as the season gets closer. It's 92 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Doll, Tom McManus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. By the way, how was the Frey concert?
Oh, it was so fun. It was so good. They were amazing. I wasn't totally sure what to expect because they do have a lot of slower songs. You know, they have. Especially their new album is a little bit more dancey than some of their older stuff, but a lot of their older stuff are, slower tunes, like sitting down at a piano playing like very slow. So I wasn't sure what to expect. And are people going to be standing or sitting and like kind of dancing around and singing, or is it going to be just sitting there watching? But there was a lot of energy. I mean, we didn't sit the whole time. Everybody was standing up, singing the whole entire time with drinks in their hands. And he was very lively, and almost even the slower songs, like made sure to bring a little bit more energy and was still moving around, like climbed down into the crowd at one point and walked all the way up. If you've been to St. Augustine Amp, you can like get down and walk up the middle all the way to the top, and there's like a little area you could stand up there. But vocals were fantastic. Band was fantastic. He was great. Like I said, brought a ton of energy. And so it was a lot of fun. And the amp is great anyways, because it's 100 degrees outside, but you wouldn't know when you're in the St. Augustine Amphitheater because the way that they have it set up, and there's fans. So it does keep you pretty cool in there, especially for that hot. But multiple
Did we contact the amp when we started to do the Stadium of the Future construction?
Yeah, like, how did you do this
How
exactly?
did you concoct this breeze?
I hope
Granted,
there
they're
were
a little
conversations.
They're a little closer to the ocean than the stadium is.
Yeah, but it was fantastic.
Well, good.
That's
I'm so
cool.
glad.
Yeah, heck yeah. Good shows are great.
Oh yeah, like you think about it for
They're
years.
great shows are great.
Yeah,
That's what I
absolutely.
meant to say.
It all works. All right, so let's get it to a team that's not great, or at least wasn't last year. The Tennessee Titans, Carnell Tate, their early pick at wide receiver, has been mostly quiet, but he has flashed big playability you'd like to see from a top 5 pick. Meanwhile, Alec Iomanner, the other receiver, not the other receiver, but another young receiver, has been showing out with several beat reporters suggesting he's been the star of camp. Unfortunately, Iomanner left practice early on Thursday with a shoulder issue. Robert Saleh told reporters that it feels stable, but we'll get more info later. So it makes you a little nervous. And then if Iomanner is okay and continues to ascend, where will that put Calvin Ridley, our old friend? And then perhaps the best thing
Still
we
trying
can
to figure
say-
out where he's supposed to be. Probably.
Exactly. Perhaps the best thing we can say of Cam Ward's development is that he's apparently playing mistake-free football. That would be a significant improvement over last year. I think Cam Ward is super talented.
Yep.
I think the problem is the rest of the team obviously isn't quite up to his level.
I think he's got some weapons that'll rise. Carnell
Tate.
The scrimmage he went off. He had 3 touchdowns were from Cam in their scrimmage. I don't know how full speed it was or whatnot, but it sounds like he may be coming around, which is a good thing. Ridley's, I don't know, I remember when he came here, everyone's like, he's going to break all these records. Like, shut up. What are you talking about? Just because he runs fast. He looks really fast.
He
That's
hadn't
great.
played in
but-
2 years, by the way, when he came here.
So, whatever. But listen, I think if they can protect Cam and he can have a little bit of a run game, look, their defense is going to keep them in games, at least from a physical standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have them 4th in the division, but I don't think they're an easy out. I really don't. And watching Cam on that quarterback, documentary, he gets it. Like he knows he's got to step up and deliver, and he's trying, he's studying, and I think it kind of clicked for him as the season went on. Now, can they continue that? Can Brian Daboll do anything with him as his OC? He's got the talent. I mean, his arm's wicked good. I mean, he whips that thing pretty dang good, but we'll see. I don't know. Look, I think the AFC South is going to be a stronger than division than people probably think they are right now.
Yeah.
Things have to happen, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
Daniel
usually
Jones,
the laughing stock, us and the NFC South.
yeah, it's either Houston and us, and the rest suck. But if Daniel Jones can stay healthy, they could be legit. We know we're legit. Houston's definitely legit. And then I don't know if they're legit, the Titans being it, but I don't think they're that far off from being at least, maybe not a contender, but just a really tough out, that's not going to get, it's not like you're going to, we just got to play them. It's like, no, we better strap it up. These guys are going to, it's going to be physical. It's going to be tough. We're going to be a hard-fought win.
I'm sure Cam wishes they still had Derrick Henry. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anybody wishes that.
And A.J. Brown, who they also had.
But who they draft? They drafted the running back out of Penn State. Didn't they get him? The big kid? Right, because they got Tony Pollard.
For who?
The Titans. They got Tony Pollard. They've got Spears.
Yeah, they got
Mike, a big 6', 230 pounder.
Yeah,
big
Mike
running back.
Williams.
No, I don't think it was
what is
Williams.
his name?
Nicholas Singleton.
Nicholas Singleton.
Oh, that's not
it.
who I was
Sorry.
thinking.
Yeah.
They have a Michael Carter. That's fourth after Pollard and Spears.
Yeah, it was that kid from Penn State, kind of a bigger back. We'll see. Look, we're not worried about them too much, but I do think they're going to be a tough team.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely be more competitive this year. I mean, we talked about the end stretch of what Cam Ward looked like in that final stretch. The game they scored right away. He went down and scored right away and then got hurt. So you didn't even really get to see Cam Ward in the Tennessee Titans in the end of the year when they started getting going, at least against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I do think that they're one of the teams where I think that their defense has the potential to be really good. And because of that, you don't have to ask so much from the offense, at least early on. Eventually, you're going to have to start figuring some things out and being able to put points on the board. That's going to be how you win games. But I do think that they could probably, ease into it and let the defense carry things for a little bit until they're totally comfortable with Tate and, let Cam Ward get going and hopefully their run, not hopefully for us, but hopefully for them, run game go. And then you're talking about a team that does win 7 or 8 games. Like that's where my mind set kind of sits with them. But it could easily also be one of the things where if Cam Ward doesn't look like that final stretch and you see more of the first half of Cam Ward, then things all of a sudden this whole conversation means nothing. And same with the Colts. If Daniel Jones comes in and plays like the first 8 weeks, then you're talking about what could be a decent Colts team because I do think their defense also could be pretty good. Yeah. And then you have that conversation with you already have a Jonathan Taylor who can get 17 touchdowns when you need it. And then but if you get the Daniel Jones that you've seen previously before this last year with the Colts, then you're talking about a team that could be bad. And so that's the interesting thing about the AFC South. You're talking about a team with the Texans and the Jags, everybody's going to be talking about being the top 2, and I think people make arguments for either one that could make the division. The Texans are going to have a top 3 defense. That's just what it is right now. And so what does their offense look like is going to be the big question mark. And then I think the opposite for the Jags. People expect the Jaguars to be able to score 35 points, but can the defense hold out in games like we weren't able to see them do against the Bills in some of those games late in the season? And so it's almost opposite storylines when it comes to Jags and Texans, but the other two, so it could easily be the end of the year where we're talking about, man, that was one of the more competitive divisions, or another year, depending what happens with the other two quarterbacks, that you're like, well, it's the same conversation.
Yeah, well, the quarterback will always, determine a lot. The D lines for every team, though, in the South are good.
Very good.
I mean, they're really good, including ours. That's you go around the 4 teams. Like one thing that stands out is front sevens.
Yeah, I would have preferred us
front
to
fours.
have John Franklin Myers instead of the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, their Packers are good too. Cedric Cray's a great linebacker.
Cedric, yeah.
I mean, and Barton can cover, so they've got some players on that side of the ball. I mean, but the AFC South in general, their front 7 and front 4, they're pretty strong.
Yeah.
Without going through the rest of the league, I'm just knowing our league, our division. They're definitely on the upper echelon of D lines.
Upper echelon.
Which, by the way, Mike Washington is the guy I thought you were talking about, but he went to the Raiders.
He went to the Raiders, right? Yeah.
That was another big one.
Arkansas, right?
A lot of Arkansas today. All right, Todd, let's get into Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
All right, continue on with, honestly, some of the names that we just talked about in that conversation talking about the AFC South. But Jordan Schultz posted, and it was the Bleacher Report, or Schultz Report technically, but through the Bleacher Report of the early and sneaky offensive breakout candidates and defensive breakout candidates for this season. So on the offensive list, several guys on this, Luther Burden being one of them, A.J. Barner, who we saw, Seattle throughout the postseason. He only had 519 yards and 6 touchdowns this last season, but I think they're expecting that to massively jump for Seattle this season. And another guy that lands on the list is Parker Washington, who we've talked a ton about. So league-wide, there is a lot of hype around Parker Washington and what to expect from him this season. The one question mark is how exactly does this offense look, and how do you feed all of the mouths that are here and what that looks like. But I haven't seen one person in, whether it's fantasy world or just like these rankings when it comes to breakout players, that doesn't have Parker Washington on their list. So that's something to keep an eye out for. They also have Patrick Paul, who's the offensive tackle for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are just going to be such a weird storyline this year with Malik Willis coming there from Green Bay, but they ship off every other weapon, and it's like Achan and and Malik trying to figure some stuff out, but their O-line, Ewers. There's a few of their offensive linemen are talked about in some of the things, and Patrick Paul being one of those. Ashton Genty is another guy that they have as that potential breakout, and he had 975 yards last year and 5 touchdowns. So
it was so quiet because
it was very quiet.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was.
Yeah.
So that one, some people would be like, he already almost had 1,000 yards. Like, what else more? Like, what more do you want? But I do think the conversation with Genty, because he was one of those guys that were flashy, and you didn't see that. It was such a quiet 975 yards. And with what happens in quarterback, and you have Brock Bowers, and there's so many things now that you could be talking about with Las Vegas, maybe that looks and shines a little bit more. But yeah,
Kirk Cousins fighting with Max Cross.
Yeah, how about that?
So funny to me.
He hit him twice. I'm surprised they allowed the quarterbacks to get hit. He hit his arm one time. That's why he went after him.
Yeah. That's why Kirk said something.
Yeah, he got his. I mean, I think he's going to lose that one, but you never know. He'd be a scrappy fighter. You never know. That Cook.
Yeah, we
Kirk
wouldn't have
Cousins
expected
guy.
Logan Cook to
pull out. I'm gonna kill you, man. Right, exactly.
Some of the defensive ones, the breakouts he has, though. Mike Green, you and I, Tommy, were big fans of Mike Green last year. 3.5 sacks in his rookie season, only started 2 games. So if you get more reps from Mike Green, you talk about Bend. That's one of the players that has just that natural. You're like, how do you even look like that coming around the edge? And he's one of those guys. So he has him on the list. He also has Kool-Aid McKinstry, who we're talking about the Saints as somebody I'm sure we'll hear about throughout the joint practices this week. Jahad Campbell, Eagles linebacker, is another one that he has on his list. I feel like we're always talking about some sort of defensive player for the Eagles every year the last few years. Upton Stout, the corner for the Niners, is another one that is on his breakout candidates. And then somebody we just mentioned, Cedric Gray out of Tennessee, for Tennessee. That's another guy that is on this breakout list too. So a couple in the AFC South, but a lot of names we've talked about on the show for various reasons in general. But these are always kind of interesting to look at for me, because like I said, there's some where you may feel like they already kind of did break out, and then some you feel like you really could. I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is, we talked so much about him before he was drafted, and that's somebody that I do think could have that kind of, okay, here he is coming out season this year. Same with Mike Green for me.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm glad Parker's on that list. I think he broke out to a certain degree, and he's like, look, we look at like other players, like, we just want to see it again. Right. And now we're seeing it out of Parker in camp. It's not like we're not. I mean, he's definitely shined in camp, and we expect him to have a big year. But look, it's got to be shown. It's going to be proven. We think it's going to happen. How much is going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of mouths to feed in this offense, and don't forget the running game that they're trying to establish. And the only way to establish a running game is by running the football, pounding the rock, and then using play action, hopefully keeping them off balance. But be interesting. Who is number one right now? I agree with you as far as the receivers and how they're performing. Parker and Trev got something going on. Yeah, there's no doubt. Now, granted, he had something going on with De'Ami Brown in camp last year, so we got to keep it in perspective. But up and coming is great, and he is. If he gets off to another year, he'll be a superstar. Yeah, he'll be thought of as a superstar in the league.
Totally agree. All right, let's give away some lunch.
Yes, we have free lunch for 2 to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, you get free lunch today.
I like it. Right. Call number 3, 641-1010. We've got more to do on the other side, including Lauren's Lane. So don't go anywhere. Keep it right here on a Big Chief Tire Monday. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Here's another look behind the microphone at 1010XL with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Mornings on 1010XL.
What's with the rubber pants?
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McMahon is here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Hey, Tom McManus here. Sometimes football teams make the trade that changes everything. Hey, maybe it's your turn. Trade in your current vehicle and upgrade at Tom Busch family of dealerships. From brand new Mazda, Mini, BMW, and Volkswagen models to quality pre-owned vehicles of nearly every make, we've got something for every driver and every budget. Stop in today, get a value for your trade, and see how easy it is to drive home in something better.
Replacing windows can be a big investment, and you deserve straight answers. Well, at Cash Building Material, I got them. Prosser here. Cash Building Material explain my options, answer my questions, and help me find windows that fit my home and my budget. No pressure, just honest advice. And they'll do the same for you. So before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material and click on their replacements tab. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Go! Your school matters.
Recap this week's high school football games with Hacker and Trent Osborne.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, Friday Night Lights.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Baloo here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
A lot of plumbing companies around here, not local anymore. They got bought out. Different owners, different priorities, and you feel it when you call. But not at Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining is still locally owned, still right here in Northeast Florida. No call centers, no corporate nonsense, just hardworking pros who show up, fix it right, and stand behind the job. From leaks to full pipe relining, make the superior choice when you need a plumber. Request an estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Which team holds the record for the most NCAA men's basketball championships?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowners policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
UCLA holds the record for most men's NCAA basketball championships with 11. Kentucky is next with 8.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I've worked with a lot of advertisers over the years, and you learn pretty quickly which ones are selling something and which ones actually care what happens after the sale. I'm Greg Gajewski, and when Awaken 180 first came to 1010XL, it started with Mike Dempsey, then Matt Hayes. From that first call, they wanted to understand our audience, not just buy a schedule. I talked with Paige, learned how the program worked, and at one point said, we got a guy, Hacker, that could really use this. And her answer was immediate, let's help him. That's their entire mission. That's always been their answer. No revolving door, no corporate runaround. Paige never franchised Awaken 180 because she wants every coach, client, and endorser to feel supported. I saw that as a business partner, and then I experienced it myself. I went on the program and lost 50 pounds. That's why I endorse Awaken 180, not just because they're a 1010XL client, but because they care about people, and you feel it every day. Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah.
You may think of Big Chief Tires just tires, but oh no, they do so much more. Anytime I need an oil change or an alignment, if I need my brakes looked at, I head to BigChiefTire.com. 6 locations around Jacksonville. The Parman family has owned it since 1961, and they will take care of your vehicle. I promise you that, just like they take care of mine. All right, let's swerve into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Open Summoned up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
This year for Florida's homecoming on October 10th, they are going 60s in the Swamp. That's because they're celebrating 60 years of Steve Spurrier's 1966 Heisman Trophy. I cannot believe
That's crazy.
That's been 60 years ago, but the uniforms are amazing.
Yeah, they look cool. You showed me a picture.
I did.
They're
I
bad to
figured
the
you
bone.
hadn't seen it. And yeah, they look just like the Spurrier jerseys that Florida wore back then. The blue helmet with the block F and the white jersey with the shoulder stripes.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, it's equivalent to the Prowler almost for the
Yes.
Jags. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like old school. It looks
Yep.
so cool.
Yeah, and that
I
was-
didn't even mean to rhyme that either. But it did.
I loved
But
it,
it
though.
did. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, slightly newer since the Prowlers we feel like are old, but that's
Right.
90s.
No, right.
Yeah. This from the 60s. Yeah.
true.
But for people who don't remember, Steve Spurrier was both the quarterback at Florida and the kicker. And so he did it all, won the
George
Heisman
Blanda.
Trophy.
All right.
Exactly. I have an FSU piece of news. Eric Llewellyn, who has been the current radio play-by-play voice for FSU, has now been named the PA announcer at Doak Campbell Stadium for football games. He played offensive line for Bobby Bowden, so he's obviously really excited. He said in a quote, "I'm incredibly humbled to be given this opportunity in this stadium almost 40 years to the day after I reported for my first practice."
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Really
So
cool.
What a cool moment for him.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
And
the
Eric
person,
does a great job.
the guy that had been doing it forever, just
Gene Deckerhoff,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Gene Deckerhoff was the play-by-play voice for forever. I don't know
Okay.
who has
Okay.
been the PA announcer at the stadium,
Right.
but yeah, cool stuff there. The Jumbo Shrimp released their 2027 schedule earlier today. Season will begin Friday, March 26th at ViStar Ballpark against the Charlotte Knights. That's the AAA team of the Chicago White Sox. The 150-game regular season features 75 games at ViStar Ballpark. They play 150 games.
Wow.
You kind of don't think about it in minor league baseball. We talk about it with Major League
Yeah,
Baseball
right,
and 162,
right.
but 150 games for
Brutal.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a lot.
long schedule.
A lot of
Long
travel.
season.
and yeah, a lot of hot down
A
here
lot of
that
heat.
they're playing
Lot
in.
of heat.
From like June,
Yes.
July, August, September, you're just playing in heat.
Which is why we love to go in, whether it's the end of March or April. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get in sometimes before that true heat gets in.
Which I saw actually. So this player played for the Cubs and the Rays. Christopher Morel
Yes.
right now is playing with the Shrimp, and he's going to be playing this week with the Shrimp.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love
And a
seeing
rehab
stories.
assignment, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I would imagine so. When it comes to Major League Baseball, who would make the playoffs if the season ended today? We are here on August 10th. So AL playoff field, Tampa Bay Rays, #1, White Sox, Astros, Yankees, Red Sox, and Rangers. All of those are the top 6 in the AL. So you just heard me mention
Yeah.
3 AL East teams
Didn't
in the top
Red
6.
Sox like really bad this year?
They
what,
started
go on
off
a tear?
bad.
They won
Fired the
a lot.
manager.
They won
A
like
lot.
every game for a month.
There was a stretch
Jeez,
that
what a
they
turnaround.
hadn't lost they won 14 in a row. They
It was
hadn't
at
lost-
18. They got to 18.
18 in a row because they were on the bottom of the division at one time.
Yeah, so literally 3 teams from the AL East are in the top 6 between the Rays, the
Wow,
Yankees, and the
how
Red
about that?
Sox. By the way, thank you to JJ's daughter Sophia for getting the win for the Braves over the Yankees yesterday. She wore her Braves outfit for the first time,
Oh,
so
there
a
you
onesie.
go.
They had lost 2 to the Yankees, so they were in danger of being swept. And then she wore it for the first time, and the Yankees lost and the Braves won. So
Let's go. We like that.
It's all right. 1-0. 1-0. In the NL, you've got, sorry, Taylor, the Brewers. #1, and then the Braves, Dodgers, Cubs, Diamondbacks, and Phillies are your top 6. So the current matchups in the AL would be Rangers at Astros, Red Sox at Yankees, the Rays and the White Sox would have the byes. And then in the NL, Phillies at Dodgers, D-backs at Cubs, Brewers and Braves would have the byes in the NL. And since I'm talking baseball, the Rays swept the Mariners over the weekend. Tonight at the A's, first pitch 9:40 p.m. Hate those
too
West
late.
Coast ones, I know. And Freddie Peralta will get the start. Last time out didn't pitch all that
Yeah.
well. His first time pitching for the Rays, but hopefully better tonight.
Yeah, what do they got? Like 50 games to go?
Let's
Major League, they're
see.
111,
Look at the
117, 118, something like that.
So right
Around
now,
that.
the Rays are 71 and 46.
Right, so that's 116, 117.
Yep, 117, and so
Yeah, so
just under
45.
50 games. Yeah.
I remember Rick
Final
Wilkins,
stretch.
who we will have on the show. I remember
Yeah,
him telling me,
eventually.
like, interviewed him once. He's like, yeah, the legs just go at the end of the year.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure.
just for catcher? He's like, well, it's more for the catch, but he's like, for everybody. Your legs just get really, really tired. And I just was thinking, like, wow, no kidding. Well, being on your feet and all that, I mean, obviously everything you go through, but think about that. Like, you don't think, just playing baseball, no big deal, but they got to manage through all that kind of stuff. I never really thought about it till he told me.
Yeah, that's true.
know?
I was thinking about Logan Bowles and I on Sunday were talking about punt returning and just how terrifying that must be. Like in all of sports, like you're back there, these guys are running full speed. That punt is 50 yards in the air and you have to track it and catch it, right? And then you have to go as fast, obviously, as possible the opposite direction. But I was like, imagine in baseball if you could actually sprint at the outfielders. Like they're trying to track the ball and someone's actually coming full speed at them. Like that would be
I think it's scary enough having 105 mile per hour fastball come at your face.
Absolutely.
I think that's scary.
Yeah,
enough.
imagine if you could have like the opposition running you down as you're trying to catch a ball in the outfield.
Yeah, no. They need to make the ball a little bigger probably. But did you see, by the way, the White Sox, the coach accidentally do the 2 mound visits for the White Sox? Did you see that?
The manager didn't know. I didn't
So
see
the
that.
manager goes, and you're not allowed to do that. So
Right.
they ended up having to pull their pitcher because once you do that, if you go a second time, your pitcher has to come out. And so they had to pull him like super early because he
usually
did that second mound visit.
They keep track of that stuff. Like the pitching coach, obviously not the manager, but the pitching coach is the one I feel like that's responsible.
Like, hey, you've
for
already
that.
been there. Like, you can't do that again.
I feel like I've seen a whiteboard in the dugout where you'll see them mark through stuff.
They need one of those get back guys on the sideline, like grab him by his pants. Like, don't, you gotta come back. You can't go.
Correct.
Let go of me.
I think Sirianni has that one guy too. That Big Dom is his name. Big Dom. That he helps pave the way.
That's right.
All right, we went through all the AFC South teams. The one I didn't go through, since of course we've been at practice most days, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So here is what this article had to say about the Jags, and this is pulling stuff from ESPN's Mike DiRocco. Travis Hunter continues to have consistent work on both sides of the ball. In 11-on-11 work through 6 practices, he's taken 51 reps on defense and 35 reps on offense. Over the weekend, he flashed his potential on both sides of the ball with an interception, followed up by a 35-yard catch. The dual threat should see more reps on defense this year, but won't be invisible on offense. Parker Washington's ascension continues. The slot receiver has been praised relentlessly through the opening parts of camp. With Washington blooming, Brian Thomas Jr. is getting back on track, and Jacoby Myers remaining his steady self. So the Jaguars don't need extensive contributions from Hunter on offense. We'll see. And then Anton Harrison his move to left tackle is all but official at this point in time.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, look, Travis is even the touchdown on one-on-ones. It was like so easy.
So easy. And that's a good word to describe him.
Yeah,
Everything he does is effortless. Yeah. His agility, his speed, his just ability to track guys too. Like he's just always right on them.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's been in the weight room. Like
definitely big time.
You look at him this year compared to this time last year. He was skinny last year. You're almost like, that's why I was so
I was like, he's
impressed
small.
that he was so physical at the line of scrimmage and press, because I was like, he's kind of a skinny dude, but he's put on some muscle, man. He looks good, man. Look, he's a superstar, and the way they use him will be so much fun to watch, and he's electrifying. I mean, that's what.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy. I want to see a Dion 80-yard punt return, man. I want to see him way back there with a ton of grass. Let's give number 12 a shot at it and let him change the course of a game, because he can.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Dion used to do. Like, Dion get his hands on the ball, you're like,
here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big Gator score.
Can you imagine if Dion played in today's era of college, that too, and the money he would have made in college actually with the NIL, but the contract that Dion would get in today's NFL dollars, which
Huge.
Travis Hunter may set the record. I mean, I don't think he'll get paid more than a quarterback, but he could set the record for a position player.
Just got to see how his career goes.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, he's
But if he has 10
Has the
touchdowns
tools
as a
too.
receiver and 4
10
pick
picks.
sixes, like
Hey, we're not asking too much, Trav. And by the way, a punt return for a touchdown would be nice too. Throw that in
I'm
there.
not asking for the punt return. Tom is. Put that on his
10
liquor.
touchdowns, 6 pick six. It's gonna be a great year for Travis.
Hey,
Hunter.
go make that money.
Manifest it.
That's right.
Manifest.
Speaking of money, the golden moment awaits on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
No scripts, no filters. If you've got something to say, holler at Hacker. Anything and everything. Call, text, or chat. Monday nights from 8 to 10 on 1010XL.
Problems, pick Porter.
When you need a
Pick smart. PickPorter.com. DUI. Pick Porter. Divorce. Pick Porter. Criminal or injury law. Pick smart. PickPorter.com. Problems. Pick Porter. When you need a lawyer. Pick smart. PickPorter.com.
Hey, Tom McMahon is here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in those high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search them online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Big Chief Tire Monday on helmets and heels.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantling, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Keep your ride shining all summer at Gate Express Car Wash. Buy one premium graphene wash and score a second for only $10. Don't wait. The sizzling summer sale ends August 21st. Visit Gate Express Car Wash today.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Ken Rimley want to thank all the top real estate agents and builders who refer us business every day. Thinking about buying or building a new home? At Trustline Mortgage, we're here to make the mortgage process simple, clear, and stress-free. That's why First Coast residents have trusted us for more than 37 years. Since 1989, Trustline Mortgage has been your local mortgage company dedicated to personal service. Real people, real conversations, and real solutions. Whether you're looking for a conventional, VA, FHA, or construction loan, Trustline Mortgage brings over 4 decades of experience to help you. And did I mention we offer the most competitive jumbo rates in Florida? If you're ready to buy, build, refinance, or simply explore your options, call Trustline Mortgage today at 904-381-LOAN or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment today is yesterday. The Jacksonville Jaguars were back out on that practice field. They got after it. I already told Jill earlier I was really impressed with Trevor Lawrence. I've seen him obviously do stuff like this in the past too. There's a difference between someone who's really genuine and someone who's doing it to talk to J-Fund families just out of, respect.
I have to.
Yeah. And obligation. And you could tell he actually enjoys it. I told y'all Liam Cohen met with a family last week too, not a J-Fund family, but another family that won a sweepstakes and talked with them for several minutes and just they actually enjoy those relationships. And I know that does nothing for the team on the field. I get that. But it is cool to have a 13-win club.
Yeah.
And also have an awesome head coach and an awesome quarterback.
Yeah, we talk so much about anytime J Fund comes around for anything or anytime we need to raise money for some sort of cause or awareness, whatever the case may be, and how big and how good Jacksonville is at showing up in those moments. And so to have people that can match that and Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen and Travis Hunter, and I could go through the list because there's a lot. Eric Armstead does a lot around the community. Like there's a lot of these guys that do this. And so to have players that can match that and like just fully embrace Jacksonville and what the community is and what means a lot to the community, I think is really big because I mean, there is obligations, like the teams have to go, there's visits you have to do and certain boxes you have to check and being a part of it, but they take it to a whole different level. There's all these, several of them have their own organizations that raise money for different causes and foundations for different causes and stuff like that. And a lot of them have attached themselves to Jacksonville in different ways. And I think that's really cool because to embrace this city means a lot to the fans because this is a fan base who a lot of people have been like, ooh, Jacksonville, who wants to go there and who wants to play there and who wants to live there and it stinks and blah, 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 all these things. And so to have players that fully embrace just like being Duval, and I think that's really cool to have.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good guy. Comes from a good family. You can tell that. I briefly talked to his dad during the season. You can tell he comes from good stock, man. So he's doing the right things. It's great to see the J Fund out there. It was awesome. That this regime
embraces
it, supports it fully. It's a great thing. And
those kids had a great time on Sunday.
And look, I'll take it to the field. I thought he had his best day. Wasn't perfect, he threw the interception, the one in at red zone, and
yeah, Eric Murray has 3 interceptions off of Trevor so far in training camp. And Travis Hunter got his first, even though
might have been negated.
Probably was.
Yeah, it was probably negated, but whatever. But he was on point. So yeah, we're looking forward to more of that off the field and on the field.
That's what I'm hoping on Thursday with the joint practice at the Saints. That's a lot of the reporting that comes out.
He lights him up. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to hear if he comes away with it. And that's the thing, like people ask you, out and about, like, "Yo, so how's he looking?" You're like, "Hey, he's fine," Yeah. But you didn't go away like, "Oh no, he's been lighting it up," because he was. But yesterday it felt like that was more of him. Like he was on rhythm yesterday.
And he talked about that after practice. He's like, "I've had some ups and some downs," and also he's wearing the right sleeve on his arm because a little bit of soreness. He said that's totally normal for him at this point in time. Just a lot higher older, volume. Man. Yeah, I mean, 26.
I know, but still, he's throwing a lot of footballs, and you think about that, 5 years in the NFL, like that's some wear and tear. You got to manage that. You get a little tendonitis probably, a little weak arm. You got to manage all that stuff. So, but he's looked good. He's looked good, man. And the receivers, Brian Thomas Jr. is a different player. Parker Washington's gotten better. Jacoby's still the pro. Like it's just like, man, what an upgrade out of those 3, throwing Strange, throwing the other tight ends, throwing the 2 young wide receivers who continue to impress. You got something going on, man. It's fun to watch.
Would you expect in the joint practices to see more tight end usage there just so they can start seeing what they have?
I want to see, at least for initially, how they block. Because that's, look, that's part of the stink, that you got to correct. That's why they went that route, freeze up Brenton.
I wonder if they play in the
they run block
preseason game.
First.
Koziel and Borkacher. Do you think they play in the preseason game?
I would too.
I would. They need the work, and that's a good thing. Not the whole game, but enough to where they get some real, live NFL game action. Like we said, we just saw them starting going to Borkacher in the past game. I mean, literally, like, I think Friday it was. We're like, oh, wow. They threw it to Borkacher.
Caught a ball.
In the
mock
game. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd like to see more of that. Koziel they've been going to, so he's got to prove, like his mama says, that he can block. So he's got to show that. But
he can block.
Yeah.
I believe his mom.
Yeah. There you go.
ESPN's Eric Karabell put together his annual fantasy football do not draft list.
Oh.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing for obvious reasons, but when it comes to the Jags, he said this: if you must guess which Jaguars receiver is going to be the most relevant, 3 or 4 of them go in similar, albeit potentially bargain ADP range. That's usually a strong indicator to avoid them all. So I will, especially the one who might play more snaps on defense.
Yeah.
So staying away from the Jags receivers.
I get that in the sense of nobody knows what it's going to look like. And they've had the same conversation with Green Bay the last 4 years. Like, don't draft Green Bay wide receivers because there's so many of them.
They spread it out.
Game to game, it's different. Week to week, month to month, everything. You don't really know what to expect. And if you're a fantasy football person, you can't have one good game out of your receiver and then not see them again for 5 weeks because now you're in last place. So if you care about winning in real life, that doesn't matter as much. But if you care about winning your fantasy football league, it's a little different.
If I had to, and I'm not a fantasy football person, but if I had to, I'd go Parker before the rest.
I would too. I'd pick Parker
at least
too.
what we've seen in camp, you know. If that's
I think
any
it's a toss-up between
indication.
Parker and Brian Thomas Jr. just because we have seen BTJ be that deep threat, right? And I think he'll end up with several touchdowns this season if he stays healthy.
The thing with fantasy is like you get more, especially if it's PPR. Every time you catch the ball, you get more points. So a lot of times it's those receivers, it's the volume receivers. It's touchdowns are good, but it almost sometimes is better if you're getting that more receptions and the yardage. Yeah, because those add up game per game than having one touchdown per week. It doesn't even really matter as much if that's the case.
Yeah.
Unless he has a 100-yard game because he's got one catch for 70 and a catch.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah.
But then if Parker has 10 catches, that's 10 points there plus his yardage. So that's how it starts. If you're talking about fantasy world.
Yeah, and look, with Brian Thomas, I mean, the dagger route, as they call it, the dig route, that's been pretty active for Brian Thomas. He's coming that deep middle shot, not deep down the field, that 20-yard across the middle. And Trevor's, man, I swear that's his best throw, it feels like, right over the middle, about 18 yards down the field. And all three of them have been running the route, but I see Brian Thomas Jr. doing that quite a bit as well. And Brian Thomas in the red zone. He's got height. He can jump too. Like, you got to utilize that, that skill set that he has.
Absolutely. From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, my annual thank you text for entertaining me while I sit in the hour-plus car pickup line on the first day of school. Chris at the beaches.
I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, I forgot how bad these school pickup lines are.
I don't miss that at all. Holy cow, I used to be in those lines all the time. all the time. And I'd be like, what's going on? Why are they like, come on, let the kids out for crying out loud. Let's go. Unbelievable.
But you're welcome, Chris. We actually appreciate you listening.
You.
Yes, for sure. All right, one segment to go here on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey, life can get a little hectic at times, and no one has time to get hurt, lost wages, injuries that not only hurt, but ones that hinder our success. If you're in this situation, due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. What's up, Jacksonville? Tom McManus here. I know injuries suck, but if you get injured, you got to check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the land with enough firepower to handle any personal injury cases that you may be dealing with. How about $30 billion worth of firepower, that is? They make filing a claim easy and don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
ET here for Encore Research. And this summer, discover the power of research. Clinical studies are helping researchers find better ways to prevent, diagnose, and treat disease. And community members like you make it all possible. Your participation could help drive the next generation of healthcare discoveries. Find out how you can make a difference at EncoreDocs.com. Research moves forward because of volunteers like you. Let's build a healthier Jacksonville together.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Lauren Brooks here. Game days are back in Duval, and Closets by Design is ready to make your home a championship space. That's right, Closets by Design does way more than custom closets. They can transform your man cave to wow your friends when they come over to watch the Teal and Black. Schedule a free in-home consultation or schedule a personal tour of their amazing showroom on Phillips Highway by calling 904-878-9393. Plus, get 40% off, an extra 15% off, and free installation with 18-month financing available. Go online, closetsbydesign.com.
UFC Fight Night is back, and the only place to catch every punch, kick, and every knockout full-on sports lodge glory is Twin Peaks. ET here. Settle in with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree beers that hits colder than heavyweight takedowns. With wall-to-wall TVs, you won't miss a single moment of action. Grab your crew and make it a fight night to remember. Twin Peaks. Eat, drinks, scenic views.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, what's bothering you, pal?
You know me, Jason. I'm a by-the-book kind of guy.
Oh, I know.
I drive the speed limit. I take my vitamins.
Sort your socks alphabetically by color.
Blue comes before brown, Jason. We aren't heathens.
But something's got you bothered.
It's not you, Jason, but there are some other companies in your business that have people pretty upset for doing things, you know, a little sketchy.
I know.
And when people get scammed, well, it looks bad on you, too.
So let me make things better for everyone. Here, put on these sunglasses.
Whoa.
If you're worried you called the wrong company and might be paying too much or getting work done you really don't need, call us for a free second opinion.
For free? Just to make people feel better?
Life can get pretty expensive sometimes. If you worry about spending money you don't really need to, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Baby, is this love for real? Let me in your arms to feel the beating of your heart, baby.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dahl, Jared Justice, filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. I like to look up at Jared's face when he starts to play a song and he's like,
he clicks my playlist and he's like, this is interesting. This is Head Automatic. I used to love them too, but very interesting.
We went to a first birthday party on Saturday. The first birthday happened last week, but the party was this past Saturday. So happy first birthday, Moa. But I felt so bad for the parents in the party. It literally was thunder and lightning and pouring down rain for the entire thing.
Yeah. I feel bad for people who have August birthdays because I feel like it just every day. And like it's almost the same time every day too. So I guess you can maybe try and plan around it where it's like early morning something or try and do it later in the afternoon. But almost every day, it's just something. Even on Saturday, we were at that concert and I was like, the rain's come, like we're going to get rained on. That's what's going to happen. Yep. It just matters how long and how bad it actually gets. And it was wild it was raining sideways for like 2 hours. Luckily, it ended up passing by the time the concert started. But still, that's August in Florida.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. That's why they don't
season.
practice now during that time.
Yeah, correct.
It just screws everything up, you know. I did learn that, so you think, the team today gets grief like one practice and done. I learned their schedule. I didn't realize all the stuff that they do after practice.
Okay.
They do a ton, including conditioning. I didn't realize that. The lifting and conditioning.
So practice, what's first on their schedule?
They can I think they can lift early.
Before practice.
I think so, yeah. But after practice, or they do it after. But
I know
'cause
Trevor said he was going after.
I asked. I said, I see some guys conditioning, but how do you get your conditioning? And I was told, they do it during the rest of the day, And then they got to walk through at night too. So they're, You think it's like, now granted, it's just one physical practice, so it is different, but they're doing stuff throughout the day that, they've got to take care of, including, because I was wondering, like, I know you guys run around a lot, like I see it, but there's no running after.
Yeah.
Like we're doing hundreds or gassers or something, to keep that conditioning going. But it turns out that they get to do that on, which is great. I would love to do it on my own. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like that, do it whenever I feel like I'm ready to go.
They're at the facility for what would you guess right now? Like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
If not, a
12
little
hours
bit
day?
longer, maybe 7.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're there for the majority of the time. And they're watching film, they're meetings, they're working out, they're doing recovery, feeding them. All that kind of stuff. So
How do you
it's a
prepare
full
for
day.
the first preseason game when there's not film of that team yet?
No, you don't. You don't even watch film during preseason. No,
Nobody cares about the preseason.
No, I mean, there was no film watching. I mean, you'd watch film of yourself, practice, and that kind of stuff. They may show you a few things. They just remember if they're in this formation, they're probably going to do this. But no, it's more vanilla. They just want to see if you can play, know the calls, know your coverage, know where you're supposed to be, and then can you make some plays?
Yeah, you're not game planning. So
No,
we
there's
have
no game
3 preseason games this season, obviously. You used to have 6?
5 the first year.
5,
But
okay.
we played in the Hall of Fame game, so 4 typically.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, listen, my first year with the Jags trying out, I played in a few preseason games with the Saints when I got cut in '93. Last one against the Bears on Monday Night Football, I thought I made it. It sucked. They cut me the next morning. I was hungover as hell, too. It sucked. I went out with the veterans. They're like, all right, you made it. Like, let's go party. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Let's go. Went all over the place, bunch of strip clubs. It was awesome. I was like, it's going to be fun.
So you got cut and hung over on one day. It's not fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not super fun.
But I remember it was the 4th preseason game of 1995, the first year. And I was getting a chance to play a lot. And the linebacker coach basically, he's like, look, you got to play great tonight or you're gone tomorrow. I was like, all right, thanks, coach. Appreciate it.
No pressure.
Yeah, but I ended up having a good game, and I ended up sticking. That's what it's coming down to. These guys, that are on that bubble, and not yet because they've got a little bit of time.
Sure.
But like we were talking earlier, like some guys start off strong, and then they kind of fade. Some guys start off kind of slow, and then next thing you know, the games come on, and they turn into a different player. It's fun to watch. So, going to be exciting and pretty interesting as far as stress. Is concerned with these guys trying to make the team.
Yeah, to get from 91 to 53, they've got some work to do. All
a lot of
let's
cuts.
let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
What'd you think about those Gator jerseys for homecoming?
They're nice.
I love them.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've done something different that I actually really like.
Right.
But,
We've had some awful jerseys.
Yeah, but these Spurrier
Or unis.
throwbacks,
they're cool.
they are really, really well done. So, yeah, hopefully the team will play as well as they'll look. And we don't know when they're playing them, right?
It's October 10th.
We do know.
Yes.
Who will we play that day?
That's homecoming. So who do we have for homecoming
Is it
this
like
year?
South Carolina?
I think it is South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Yes.
That they should be able to be victorious winning those jerseys. But yeah, that was cool to see. And we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll talk a lot of Jaguars, obviously practice Saturday and Sunday. So lots has happened since we last did a show. I had a chance to catch up with Josh Hines-Allen on Saturday, so we'll play that interview, and also caught up with LaQuint Allen yesterday, so we'll play that as well.
Ooh.
And ET is blitzing the bank,
All right.
so he'll check in with us as well. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
From a secret location somewhere around town.
That's right.
Did LaQuint say anything spicy?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
He's got a chance to be like one of my favorite guys
that's what I
before
thought.
it's all said and done. Yeah, I really like talking to I think last year I may have only interviewed him like once because it took a while, it took a while for him to sort of get on the radar. He arrived as like a 7th round pick, and you're like, is he really going to make it? And then, it took he was great for his role, but it took a while. So I think I only talked to him like once or twice in the locker room last year. But yeah, it was really fun getting a chance to talk to him, and Josh Hines-Allen was outstanding. So I always appreciate his time as well. So yeah, hopefully people enjoy the interviews.
And it's nice too for Josh. Practice indoors. Did you get to interview him indoors?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking air conditioning because
and
people.
surprisingly, it's the longest interview that I've done in training camp
I'm not
because we
surprised.
both weren't pouring sweat and just trying to get out of there. So yeah, it's we cover a lot of ground. So yeah, should be a fun Frangie show coming up.
All right, thanks, Hayes.
Thank
yeah,
you.
we appreciate the access, obviously, for all of our guys to interview with
Oh,
them.
yeah.
But it is immediately after practice and in the full sun for the most part. It's not like they get to go inside to do
Cool off a
and
second.
do an interview indoors in the AC. They're still right out there in the
well,
practice.
because once you go in, you ain't coming back.
Also true. Yeah.
Well, I saw that even
that AC, like
when you guys had Branson Combs on, and even Mike was like straight up here to do an interview after practice, and I was like, that guy had to go up the stairs and everything to get that done.
exactly. Yeah. That was a great interview. It was fun
It
to
was.
talk
He was
to him.
great.
Yeah, it was cool.
I think everybody that, we've had a slew of interviews over the past, 10 practices, and every one of them, I think, has interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for Jared Justice, filling in for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show comes up next.